Hi, second graders. Our school closure ended at a pretty good time because we had just finished our read aloud. And I thought it would be pretty great to still have our read alouds, even though we have to stay in our own houses. Funny thing, Jocko is joining me today. Can you say hi, Bubba? Say hi. Oh, yeah, this good boy. He's pretty excited about reading, as long as he doesn't lick the book. Funny thing, when I was done with second grade, that summer after Doctor Dolittle came out as a movie with Eddie Murphy, and we thought it was super silly. And now Doctor Dolittle is coming out again as a new movie. And so as I was looking through our classroom library, I found this old book called Doctor Dolittle. And I started looking through it and I started reading it and I couldn't put it down. So I thought, that's a pretty good book to start for our read aloud. So without further ado, here is Dr. Dolittle. We're going to start with chapter 1, and it's called Puddleby. Once upon a time, many years ago, when our grandfathers were little children, there was a doctor, and his name was Dolittle. John Dolittle, MD. MD means that he was a proper doctor, and he knew a whole lot. He lived in a little town called Puddleby on the Marsh, and whenever he walked down the street in his tall hat, everyone would say, "There goes the doctor. He's a clever man." And the dogs and the children would all follow behind him, and even the crows that lived in the church tower would caw and gnaw their heads. The house he lived on, at the edge of town, was quite small, but it had a wide lawn with stone seats and weeping willows. That's a type of tree. His sister, Sarah, kept house for him. That means she cleaned the house and made sure that it was safe for him to live in. Everything was taken care of. The doctor was very fond of animals and kept many kinds of pets. Besides the goldfish in the pond at the bottom of his garden, he had rabbits in the pantry, white mice in his piano, a squirrel in the linen closet. That's like where you keep your bathroom towels. And a hedgehog in the cellar. Usually that's a bathroom, or not a bathroom, a basement. Usually it's a basement. He had a cow with a calf too, and an old horse, and chickens and pigeons and 2 lambs and many other animals. But his favorite pets were Dab Dab, the duck, Jip, the dog, Gub Gub, the baby pig, Polynesia the parrot, and Tutu the owl. His sister used to grumble about all the animals and say they made the house untidy. I probably would too if I had to clean up after all those animals. That's a lot. That's a big mess. One day, when an old lady with rheumatism came to see the doctor, she sat on the hedgehog who was sleeping on the sofa. I don't know about you, but I would not be happy if I sat on a very pokey hedgehog on a couch. She never came to see him again. I don't blame her. Sarah said, "John, how can you expect sick people to come and see you when you keep all these animals in the house? We are getting poorer every day. If you go on like this, none of the best people will have you for a doctor." But I like animals better than the best people," said the doctor. "Ugh, you are ridiculous," said his sister, and she walked right out of the room. So as time went on, the doctor got more and more animals and fewer patients. At last, he had only one patient left, Matthew Mugg, the cat meat man. That sounds weird. I wonder what that is. Who didn't mind any kind of animal. The cat meat man went around the streets of Puddleby with a tray full of meat stuck on skewers. So those are like those long sticks, that you sometimes might use for a barbecue or something. You put meat and veggies and sometimes fruit on them. That sounds kind of like a funny job. Let's see. People bought the meat for their cats and for their dogs. But the cat meat man wasn't very rich and usually only got sick once a year. And when he did, he paid the doctor 6 pence. 6 pence a year wasn't enough to live on, even in those long ago days. And if the doctor hadn't had some money saved up in his own money box, no one knows what would have happened. He kept on getting more pets, and of course, it cost a lot to feed them. And the money he had saved up grew smaller and smaller. So he sold his piano, and he let the mice live in a drawer. But the money he got for that, too, began to disappear. Now, when he walked down the street in his tall hat, people would say to one another, "There goes John Dolittle, M.D. You know, there was a time when he was the best known doctor in the West Country. Look at him now. He hasn't any money. His socks are full of holes." But the dogs and the cats and the children still ran up and followed him through the town, the same as they had done when he was rich. I think we'll stop there and we'll do chapter 2 probably tomorrow. So far, I think it's a good start to a book, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope you guys are having a great day, and talk to you soon.